Hello and welcome to Inside Story. I'm Yondan Latu. Hong Kong is in the middle of a crisis that no one, not the government or Beijing or pro-democracy forces, had ever imagined. For more than a week now, democracy activists, student protesters and concerned citizens have been blocking major road junctions across the city, hoping to force the SAR and central governments to give in to their demands for greater democracy and for Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying's resignation. We've witnessed extraordinary scenes of chaos and anarchy on the streets, police using tear gas, mob violence and thugs attacking and molesting young protesters in public. We've seen angry crowds of people who are fed up with the disruption to their daily lives and business. And we've seen determination on the part of tens of thousands of mostly young people to rally peacefully in the heat and rain to fight for what they genuinely believe in. This is Hong Kong today at the Crossroads.
Won universal referendum, and it is really unfair that we are sacrificing so much. We are really trying to get this democracy, but then we're not just given, we're not even spared some. And this is absolutely unfair, and it's just ridiculous how much we have to do to just get them to respond to a simple request. I'm not saying we want them to just come out and say, hey, you know what, we'll just say no to China and let us have universal referendum, but at least show up and say something.
I think that if CY Leung had agreed to meet with the students, I don't think this would have happened. So if things like this happen in other civilized places, the government would come out and meet with the student representatives.
The police use unreasonable violence, pushing them, taking away their personal belongings, floating it around, and then basically shouting and yelling at them like wild animals. Are we still living in a civilized world?
I think the police are already crazy. They use not necessarily violent weapons. They seem they are not to protect us. They just come to fight.
I think they want to be police because they would like to protect the citizen, but now they are hurting us.
The most violent thing we did was climbing that fence. We didn't even necessarily bump into them voluntarily. We didn't hit them. We didn't try to force anything. We're just climbing the fence and try to sit in the square. And what they did was spray us, use shield to kind of push us out. So I don't know. It has come to a point where I doubt if they're really trying to protect us.
I think the government's response is ridiculous, as we are only fights for our entitled rights. Our citizens are entitled to gather in the civic square, because in the past few years there's an open space which can be used by every citizen.
Well, I think we are very moved by the participation of the citizens, which have been kind of organized and initiated by the students. And so we think that social movements that even you can have some planning, but you have to respond to the changing situation of the society. So we just need to respond to the very enthusiastic participation of Hong Kong citizens.
I think we are being used by Occupy Central right now. Not everyone here is trying to fight the government. I think most of them are more likely to support the students.
So we don't think it's a hijack, but it is just a help from the Occupy Central to make the campaign to become more to engage more people and more resources.
I think it's difficult decision to take the time, the days to start the Occupation Central, but in my opinion, it's not time to argue about this. And since we are all of us are in the same side,
because it can attract more citizens to come to join this movement, because some of the Hong Kong citizens just realize that they are just a student movement, but they think that the students may be fooled by others, maybe teachers, maybe professor, or maybe their classmate.
I was a bit disappointed because there was no other action plan. The three who initiated Occupy Central, they only announced that, okay, so now this is occupied. Now we started. But there's no action plan where we should go, because we are still in the Admiralty. This is not the center, the economic center of Hong Kong. Well, if we occupy here, there will be no effects. We have to go to Central.
The message is Hong Kong people love democracy. They believe democracy is good for Hong Kong and certainly good for China. And they are prepared to sacrifice their comfort, their freedom for the sake of themselves and their children and their children's children.
我哋係和平集會，而家係需要一啲音響喺呢個嘅維持秩序，但係警方咧就要喺呢度截咗我哋嘅音響。拉，但係我哋會推入去，因為我哋嘅物資，我哋大會要用。
The Hong Kong SAR government is resolute in opposing the unlawful occupation actions by Occupy Central. The police shall continue to handle the situation in accordance with the law.
About the use of force, police has very strict guidelines on the use of force and will only use force when it's necessary and ensure that only the minimum necessary force is used. Members of the public would no doubt be able to see from the footage of the news report, for instance, of the acts of those demonstrators or protesters who charged against the central government office as well as the electrical building, resulting in injuries caused to both security guards, police officers, and the demonstrators themselves. Police has a duty to protect member public and will take resolute action as necessary to ensure that this is done.
We are shocked because we don't think that we are just holding our hand up, and I don't think that there are any reasons for the governments the police to attack the citizens in Hong Kong.
Noise cannon, water cannon, we are expecting that, but obviously we are not expect real firearms, and if they do so, I think, right now the world is watching us, and I dare them. They're not ready for such a violence in this situation.
I think the police behavior is unacceptable. They use excessive violence to our peaceful protester. We just stand there. We don't attack the policemen.
I was quite shocked because I did not believe that police use such force against unarmed people like us.
I think
what they did is not helping the situation. They're making more people to come out.
For the first time, I was quite shocked, because I wasn't prepared. I didn't have the wet towel with me. I didn't have the mask with me, and I inhaled a lot of it. It was really painful. But after the second time, second time, I just got used to it. It was like laughing.
Hong Kong people at all! The people of Hong Kong merely demanded a dialogue, but the Chief Executive responded by tear gas. We call upon the Chief Executive to resign, and this is the only way that he could beg for forgiveness from the people of Hong Kong.
I think the Hong Kong people, particularly the students, have demonstrated to the whole world how a Hong Kong people would fight for democracy, human rights, with dignity, with restraint. And I think they have won the hearts and minds of many people and moved many people, including some of my colleagues, to tears.
I think when they make the decision to deny the people of Hong Kong the right to true universal suffrage, I would say, do not expect that the people of Hong Kong will respond in such a strong way.
I'll stay until CY Leung face the public directly, face their request directly. Don't hide in the headquarters. Come out and face the public.
This movement is totally peaceful. These people are from Hong Kong. They want to protect Hong Kong and they don't want violence. And having their own clean-up teams, doing recycling and all of that really shows, the peaceful motion of this movement. It's not to destroy Hong Kong. It's not to create disruption, but it is to fight for change on a totally peaceful means.
These kids, they don't need leaders. There's no leader. Everyone is a leader of their own. This is fantastic. We had 2 cars, empty police cars, parking there. Every time we retreat from the gas, the bullet, nobody ever thought of touching the car, or burning the car, or turning the car over. This is the most wonderful kids in the world. They are elite of the elites.
Really to fight for democracy for Hong Kong. We are fighting for our generations, our further generations. We are not only fighting for ourselves, we are fighting for all Hong Kong people.
Just this moment can do something for Hong Kong. So we stand here to support Hong Kong, to get the free Hong Kong.
Yesterday, the police hurt the people and students, so I want to help them because police have a gun and tear gas to hurt people, and the people did not have anything.
CY Leung wants this occupation to be stopped. The best way is for him to resign immediately. And then we then have opportunity to start over again the whole constitutional reform process.
We are Hong Kong citizens. We love Hong Kong. We think we have the responsibility to protect Hong Kong in terms in politics and both in the environmentals.
We want to engage in this volunteer work and help others who are sitting under the sunny day and to be more comfortable.
it's redefining what the word protest means in the world. People think protest means explosions and clashings and things like that, and of course it opened up like that. And to the credit of everyone here, they came back and weren't deterred by the strong response by the police.
不同人有不同嘅政改理想方案，可以理解，但有普選一定比冇普選好。500萬合資格選民投票選行政長官，一定比1200人選行政長官好。
I think that CY and the police commissioner owe Hong Kong an apology, and nothing less but an apology for what they have done.
Don't underestimate Hong Kong people. You know, 1 week ago, I could never imagine that people facing tear gas can be that fearless.
Well, they're at a perfect age that, politics is just coming into their awareness, and so it's a really good opportunity to talk to them about, governance, about civil issues.
If they aren't here, then they can't be part of Hong Kong history, and they are the generation that will change the way we see things in the future.
They're quite peaceful, yeah, but some of them are getting hurt. Like I've seen a lot of people with bandages on their heads. For democracy, for us to vote for the Chief Executive and for our leader for Hong Kong.
Police will not tolerate any illegal surrounding of government buildings. Police urge the protesters to remain calm and restrained. Do not block and charge any government buildings, including those of law enforcement departments. These actions will obstruct officers from carrying out their duties, which could lead to serious consequences.
I think anyone who has a fair understanding of the principles, the concerns of the central government cannot believe that the central government will allow at this juncture any uncertainty caused by a change of the chief executive.
According to police experts' view, the use of tear smoke, actually the correct name is tear smoke, does not inflict permanent injury, and it's much less.
Have you ever been tear gassed yourself?
No, well, I have to say. I know. It's of course. I know it causes discomfort, but it doesn't break bones.
I think we are not cannot claim that we are the chief organizer. I think we are just a team which may be a bit having more resources and more organized. And so we will be playing the role of overseeing the whole picture more.
And I'm now appointing the Chief Secretary to represent Hong Kong government to meet with representatives of the Hong Kong Federation students to discuss constitutional development matters.
The vehicles contain breakfast and water for the police officers working here. There is no equipment on the vehicle.
Can I have you quiet at the moment, please? We have had one of our officers collapse. He is now coming onto an ambulance which we brought out here. He needs to go to hospital. I am now asking you to move off the road, please, to facilitate this officer leaving here so he can go to hospital.
I 頭先我喺度集會，咁我對面呢一個反佔中嘅人士呢，就一腳伸埋嚟，咁我就攣低咗啦。咁佢不停打我，不停踢我咯，就係咁。 頭先講係10幾個一齊打嚟。係啊，我知我攏低咗，我就會10幾一齊圍我咯。係啊。你覺得警方嘅執法點啊？完全係漠視我哋佔中集會人士嘅人身安危啦！我唔明白我哋啲佔中嘅集會人士不停俾啲反佔中人士襲擊，而佢哋係點解唔執法？
One would imagine that with a prolonged period of disruption to traffic, road blockages, and also inconvenience to a lot of people, sentiments are running high, and there is this high chance of conflicts taking place on our streets. And that's why I make this strong urge and appeal that protesters who have been occupying different parts of the territory should seriously consider retreating from the scene, so that law and order as well as normal activities in society could be restored.
We do not approve any of this violence. Hong Kong is a lawful society. Every citizen in Hong Kong should obey the law. Nobody wishes to see what has happened yesterday. But police will, as what they have been doing in the past week, faithfully, truthfully enforce the law with patience.
The pan-democratic camp is now in the course of requesting to see the Chief Secretary for Administration and also the Secretary for Security to manifest our strongest condemnation and want them to make sure that what happened would not be repeated today and in the future.
That's all for this edition of Inside Story. If you have any comments or suggestions, email us at insidestory@atv.com.hk. We'd like to hear from you. I'm Yondan Latu. Thanks for watching.